right, it's Hot
Uh-oh.
97, TT Torrez with another edition of Artist Quarantine with our special guest, Dolla ign. Hi, Ty.
What's the deal? How you been?
Good. Listen, I want to say this to you. This is my first time interviewing you, but I have
What's
been
that?
so intrigued by your artistry for so
I
many years.
appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
I call you and Jeremiah the silent killers. And here's why. You put your record on, right? And then you're like, damn, hold up. Now, all of a sudden, it just smacks the shit out of you, like out of nowhere. And it's like this obsession. It's like the silent killers. The next thing you know, you're like intrigued and you're like listening for hours and hours. So I think that is part of you just being a student of the game. And I could just tell by the way you create music.
I have a wide range of music that I listen to and enjoy. And for sure, always learning every day.
So you have a new single that is out now. It's called Ego Death, and it's featuring Kanye West, FKA Twigs, Skrillex. And the name of the song is very interesting, Ego Death. Can you talk about that?
Ego death to the ego. I feel like everybody in, especially right now, it's a very humbling moment for everyone, you know, and everybody is gonna have that humbling moment. It don't matter who you are. Like right now, ain't no zip code that you could go to escape what's going on. You feel me? So it's the perfect time to drop the song. We actually did the song like about a year ago, and now I finally got it to where I wanted. I was making a beat, and then I had some lyrics. I put it on there, and then I was watching Instagram, and I seen where Kanye was walking through Chicago.
Yeah.
And there was this, he was like, hold up, this train going by. I was like, that's perfect right there. That's like actually what inspired the whole song. So I sampled that and then did brought the song to Kanye in Chicago, played it for him. He went crazy, grabbed the mic that you perform with, not even like the record mic, laid his part. We kept it. It was perfect. Then I went to London, linked up with Twigs.
Wow.
Came
So
back
you
to
flew
LA.
out to London?
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like really just for the song. It was like, I think I had a show out there, but it was perfect because I was working on the song and I always wanted to work with Twigs, and I thought this would just be perfect for her. So she hopped on the song,
and so how did Skrillex come into play?
I came back to LA. Skrillex to me is like one of the best producers we have in the game, like on all levels, all different genres, everything. So I always trust, you know, his ear and want to see what type of magic he could bring to the record. So, you know, he added some, you know, a lot to it, and then he mixed the whole record as well. So it's definitely been a movie.
How do you get your thoughts, like your mind, to settle on something? Because like when you hear beats, it's almost as if your mind plays tricks on you, right? You hear, I can imagine, like when I think of you as an artist, like you could be walking and hear something and like that melody just sticks out to you, or you fall asleep hearing raindrops and then like those raindrops then becomes a beat in your head. Like,
yeah,
it's like almost like this bipolarness that goes on all day. Like you just hear like just these things and you're like, oh, like in creative mode, because I could just tell that type of artist you are, that you're always thinking and creative. But how do you get that from your head and actually into the music?
It's magic. I couldn't explain it. It just happens. Yeah. I always tell people though, when I create my songs, I feel like it just comes from the sky. And someone was asking me yesterday, like, what about the times when you go in there and then it just don't come out, right? Do you keep going or do you leave? And I'm the kind that I don't force it. I leave. Like if it's not just coming out the sky, it's not it, you know, and we can come back tomorrow. Because every time I have tried to just sit in there, wait a minute, well, I'm paying for the studio time. Let me just try and keep on going. Like that shit come out weak. The next day you come back like, what is this? So, you know, it's best to just let it just come natural.
Do you need vices? I know Cali has that good type of weed, so I know you don't really need that could get you in a creative mode. Yeah.
I don't need it, but it's definitely fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw a video, right? Where you were talking about Kanye West and Pharrell as being one of your influencers when it comes to producing, right? So when you're working with someone of that magnitude and who is very passionate about his craft, and there's no secret that Kanye is super passionate about what he does, do you do more listening, or do you give him, like, how do y'all work? How's that
When I'm
chemistry?
around him, I'm for sure doing more listening than talking, and just trying to learn everything I can. He's definitely like a perfectionist and one of my favorites. And it's definitely like anyone that comes from around him, like one of my boys, Ant Clemens, for instance, now when I record with him in comparison to when we first started linking up, I'm like, okay, you've been to Kanye school. You like, you know,
Yeah, you know what
it's
it is.
see when people have been around him, like, just like how they produce records or just get records done. Like, it's definitely like a process, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you don't have no egos in it, right? Because as a student of the game, you have to be able to put your ego aside and allow people to teach, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so do you have that same experience, like when you're around Pharrell or any other artists that you are influenced by and on the producer side?
You know what? I'm a student around every single artist, no matter if it's Pharrell, Kanye, or like somebody more new. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody got something that I can learn when it comes to music. There's a whole bunch of different styles, and I'm like a sponge. I soak them all up, and then I give it right back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what type of teacher are you? Because you can definitely hear a lot of younger artists being influenced by your sound, which honestly I think is a great thing, because that means you're leaving a legacy, right?
Yeah,
And I think that's what Quincy Jones and, some of the great producers, songwriters, that Black musicians, period, have left in this mark, in this industry, is legacy. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And when other artists can be influenced by that, or sample their sounds, or even, I don't want to say mimic, because that's not the right word, but are influenced by, like, Nate Dogg, right? You know how
yeah,
many people was influenced by Nate Dogg?
yeah,
So
including me.
yeah. So, like, what type of teacher are you to, like, the younger generation coming in that for sure is influenced by your sound?
I'm definitely a teacher for sure. Like you say, I can tell there's people that have listened to my music and picked up stuff from me, and we sound similar or whatever. But it's great. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Learn and teach. That's the only purpose for being alive, I feel like.
Yeah. So when I thought about the title of your new single that's out is called Ego Death, right? And so that made me think about, like, wanted to ask, like, what type of artist do you want to be? Like, what type of artist do you want to leave in this industry when, God forbid, you want to retire, or, you don't want to do this anymore, you want to just chill on the beaches? Like, what type of legacy do you want to leave in this culture?
I want to leave quality. I want to leave like just not doing the easiest thing, which
Mm,
is getting on your laptop and making something that sounds like the last number one hit. And I feel like a lot of people do that. And it's so easy to do that. And like, congratulations if, you go big with it. But I feel like I like people like Pharrell or Kanye or Chance the Rapper, or
or
it's
even
so many
Missy
people I could,
Elliott.
Missy Elliott, Travis, who like take their time with their music, and you could tell right when it comes on, like you hear so many different things. Like, I think it's important to do that, to just dig instead of like going for what's on the surface.
Yeah.
So
Do you
that's
think
what I want to leave.
do you think it's hard to be consistent because the work ethic has to be there? Like, you have to put in the work to be able to do what you do.
Yeah, but that's not hard if it's what you really want and if it's fun to you, and if you're having a good time. So,
Are you
I think some people are just like hard workers and some people are not.
Yeah. Are you still having fun with this?
Hell yeah. This is the best thing ever. Like,
So,
I'm so blessed and thankful and grateful to God and to my fans for allowing me to be able to, you know, live in this space and take care of my family. It's like the greatest thing that could ever happen and what I always dreamed about, you know?
Yeah. What's the hardest part though? Is it the celebrityism that comes with being an artist? What's the hardest part of the game?
The hardest part of the game before quarantine, which is a blessing and a curse, but the hardest part was like just keeping up with family and the homies and just being able to, you know, have a regular life, which now I fell in love with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Since
before we were just
quarantine?
always, yeah, because before we were just always on the run and just like nonstop. And and it just became a regular thing to just be on a plane more than like, you know, being on land. And then now I'm loving like being at the crib and being able to kick with my daughter, my family, my girl. It's amazing. Learning how to cook and shit. Like I dropped pounds. I know a lot of people gain hella pounds and shit
I
on the
did. I
quarantine,
did the
but
quarantine 19. But I lost 15 of the quarantine 19. So let me just put that out there.
let's
But
keep going.
I
You
definitely
look
had the
good.
quarantine. Thank you. Because I was cooking and I was enjoying life. And I think that this is God's way of showing us that you can work, but when are you really enjoying the stuff that you work hard for? Because we
Right.
put those materialistic things before the quality of life. We keep
Yeah.
chasing it. And
Yeah.
as bad as quarantine is, and you know, we can't negate that so many people lost their lives from this, but it also for most people gave you a different perspective,
Yeah.
and it humbled you to really value your family and value the core principles that we so much got away from because we're always chasing that next thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that big house that you worked hard for, you finally got to probably enjoy the pool. Oh wow,
Yeah.
look at this kitchen that I spent millions of dollars on. I can really cook up a meal in this kitchen now.
Yeah. It's been great. It's been great for sure.
So my other question for you is, I wanted to ask you, your musical IQ, right? Do you think that when you choose to work with an artist, do you think that they have to have the same level of musical IQ that you have, or do you feel like you can bring them to your level?
You know, that's a crazy question. Um, I had to learn that all that IQ shit, like you could think like you know everything about music, but then like somebody will come and just have one sound. Like for instance, me Mustard YG, right? Like in the beginning, like I know, like I know music. I play all the instruments, like I can go anywhere you want with it, right? But when I met YG and Mustard, like they came with this sound that was like one sound and the beat. And
Wow.
I thought it was like what is this? Like I'm telling my big homie Big B who just like passed away 3 or 4 days ago. So rest in peace, long live Big B. He's the one who plugged me, YG, and Mustard all together back in like 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And when he first brought YG to me and played me this music, I'm like, this shit is weak. Like, I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And I had to be humbled and realize that, okay, now guess what? This simple shit right here is is what was gonna end up changing my life. The first song that blew up from us was Tooted and Booted, which I made the beat, but Mustard and them were coaching me the whole way through, like, nah, take out all those other sounds and just use this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that changed my whole idea with that whole like musical IQ thing, because it was like you don't even have to do all that. Like
Yeah.
and then when I like went back and like looked up like the biggest hits from say the 70s era or the 80s era or the 90s era, it was like, okay, most of the like big hits were simple. You know, you don't have to, sometimes thinking too hard will set you back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When it comes to this music shit.
Yeah.
So
I was in the
you got to be
studio with
open for it.
Yeah, I was in the studio with Hitmaker and the artist who happens to be a really good friend of mine, and she's a
Yeah.
super rapper. Like she loves to get it in, like bars for days. And he
Yeah.
was explaining the same thing about simplicity, and you know, get in and out. And like, I thought that was a really good perspective, because I think you have to retrain how you make music constantly, right? And as
Yeah.
part of like exercising, like training your body, I
Yeah.
think that kind of correlates to how you make music. And I think too, like that's why you see artists like Kanye West, Pharrell, Missy, those people be in the game for so long, because they're not afraid to keep reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
And I think
Keep
that's
going
pretty
harder,
dope.
keep trying to reach new heights, and just
Yeah,
come with something new,
yeah,
not, like I said, not try to come with the same last whatever the number one hit is,
yeah,
because it's easy to do that.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
know we have a limited amount of time with you, but I do want to ask you about the space of Black music right now. We see this positive movement with the Black Lives Matter. We see so many Black artists on the front lines protesting and marching, and we hear so many Black artists as the background to a lot of these movements, the songs, and music has always been the voice of the people, especially hip hop.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the space that Black music is in right now?
I think it's great. I think I'm proud to see where it's gonna go. Like the biggest songs right now, what on the Hot 100 is the Baby and Roddy Rich, and
Yeah,
they're talking like what needs to be said right now. You know what I mean? It's no longer like the club songs and the bullshit as the biggest song. Then we go to Apple Music. The number one is the Lil Baby song where he's talking about what's going on, and it's beautiful, man. And that's why I can't wait for my album to drop. I've been working on it for a while, and I've been waiting for the right time, but now is the perfect time, because it's like, it's bigger than just like, the regular
yeah.
jewelry, the clothes, the ladies. So it's that
So,
time. And
so
we're
we
in a
get to
beautiful
see it.
place.
We get to see a different side of Ty Dolla Sign on this album.
For sure, man. I'm more mature as an artist, as a man. My daughter's 15. She's paying attention to every word I say. She hit me with but Dad, you did this. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's that time in my life with my music. I still got some bangers, don't get it twisted, but
Yeah.
it's that time in my life for sure.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with artists aging gracefully with respect to what's happening in their lives. Look how
Yeah,
Jay-Z does his music.
yeah,
Kanye too, how he does his music, especially where he was at with the Christian vibe. That's where he was
yeah,
at in his point in his life. So I think sometimes we could put a stigma on artists and say, oh, well, if you ain't popping and you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. But that's not what artists are in their lives. And I
yeah,
think as an artist, you are supposed to create what really reflects you.
for sure, for sure.
So I think that's dope that you're doing that.
That's love.
So when's the album dropping? Do we have a date?
We have a date. I haven't told anybody yet, but the album is called
Okay.
Dream House, and y'all can look forward to it real soon. I'm just dropping everything proper this time. I got a great team, and we got a great rollout. And I erased my Instagram, all my socials, and we're starting over, and we're giving it to you like the way I want to give it to you this time. So I'm happy.
And
And
you're
the first
smiling
single is
throughout
Ego
this
Death.
entire interview, so I know you're happy. You
I'm
haven't
super
stopped
happy.
smiling,
Thanks, man.
which is
I'm
good.
happy.
Okay. So Ego Death, everybody, is out right now. Kanye West, FKA Twigs, Skrillex, it's out right now. It's Ty Dolla Sign. Will you come back and hang out with us again when the album drops?
Let's do it for sure. I'm there.
I enjoyed speaking with you today, man. And
You too. Thank you for your time. Thanks for the interview, and shout out to everybody watching.
like I said, you're one of my favorite artists, and I'm always intrigued by you musically. Like I love to hear your music and what you do. So
Thank you so much, and I'll try my hardest to keep you, right here with us.
no problem. I'm not going nowhere. I gotta grow with you.
Much love.
That's what fans gotta do. They gotta grow with their artists.
For sure, for sure.
Well, thank you, Ty Dolla Sign. Enjoy the rest of your quarantine time with your family.
Thank you. You too.